Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about investing, but probably not in the way you're used to. We're going to dig into a fascinating idea. What if the market wasn't just about charts and profits? What if it was actually a powerful tool for self-discovery? We're going to look at this whole thing through a new lens, where the real prize isn't just a bigger account, but a much deeper understanding of ourselves.
So let's just start with the big one, the question that I know pretty much all of us have asked at some point, maybe after a particularly rough day. Why, after all the books, all the news, all the analysis we consume, why do most investors still end up losing money?
Well, according to the philosophy we're exploring today, the answer is actually incredibly simple. It's because most people invest with hope, not with understanding. We hope a stock will go up. We wish the market would do what we want, but we don't truly try to understand its nature, or our own. And getting that distinction, that's the key that unlocks this whole different way of thinking.
All right, so let's get right into it. Section 1. Why do most of us fail at this? And here's a hint. It has nothing to do with being smart or dumb. The problem is a huge misunderstanding of what this game is all about and what our real role in it is.
Here it is, the fundamental mistake. We act like we can somehow force the market to do what we want. You know, we try to predict it, we try to outsmart it, and then we get mad when it doesn't listen. But we forget the market is this giant chaotic force of nature. It owes us nothing. It doesn't even know we're here.
So this is where the mental flip has to happen. We get totally obsessed with asking the wrong question, a question that is literally impossible to answer with any certainty. Is this stock going to go up? Who knows? The real power comes when you ask the right question, a question you actually can answer. How will I react? See the shift? You move the focus from the external, which you can't control, to the internal, which you can.
Okay, so if trying to control the market is the big mistake, where's the real fight? Well, that brings us to a pretty provocative idea. Section 2. The enemy is you. Now hold on. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about a really powerful realization. Our biggest obstacle isn't a bad stock or a market crash. It's our own internal emotional reaction to all the chaos.
And this is exactly how it plays out. A price is just a number, right? It's neutral, it's just data. But we don't treat it that way. We wrap our entire ego around it. If the price drops, our brain tells us, I was wrong, I'm an idiot. If it goes up, wow, I'm a genius. A mindful investor, though, sees it differently. A price move, up or down, is just feedback. It's a real-time lesson in how you personally deal with uncertainty.
And this gets right to the heart of it, let's be honest. The real pain of taking a loss, it's usually not about the cash. It's the feeling of being wrong. It's a direct hit to our ego. And that wounded ego is the reason so many of us hold on to losing stocks way too long. We just can't stand to admit we made a mistake.
So, if the market isn't this enemy we have to battle, then what in the world is it? To play the game well, we have to understand the field. We have to understand the true nature of this psychological ocean we're all swimming in.
So our source material uses this really cool term for it, mass consciousness. The idea here is that the stock market is basically a giant mood ring for the human race. It's not just moving based on spreadsheets and earnings reports. It's moving based on the collective emotions of millions and millions of people, the giant waves of fear, the manic surges of greed, and the quiet whispers of hope. It's pure mass psychology, playing out in real time.
And you can see how this creates these intense feedback loops. It starts with a little bit of fear. That fear causes some people to sell. Seeing other people sell creates more fear, which leads to more selling. It's a panic, and that emotional snowball can create a full-blown market crash that has almost nothing to do with the actual value of the companies involved. It's all about contagious human emotion.
Which brings us to the single most important idea in this whole explainer, the big reveal. You have to stop thinking of the market as an opponent you need to beat. It's not. See it for what it truly is, a mirror. It has no agenda, it has no opinion of you, it simply reflects the collective psychology of the crowd. And more importantly, it reflects your own emotions, your own biases, your own hopes and fears right back at you.
Okay, so if the real battle is internal, how do we arm ourselves? How do we show up prepared? Well, that's what this section is about. It's about building your defensive toolkit. Because if our emotions are the problem, then discipline is the shield. And these are the practical ways we can manage ourselves.
But first, we have to get past a huge trap, the trap of knowledge. So many people think, if I just read one more book, learn one more pattern, watch one more news report, then I'll be successful. But here's the hard truth. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to use it when you're feeling scared or greedy, it's totally worthless. Discipline is the bridge that connects what you know to what you actually do.
So how do we actually build that discipline? It boils down to a pretty simple three-step system. Step 1, you make a crystal clear plan before you ever put a single dollar on the line, when you're calm and rational. Step 2, you automate your rules. You set your stop loss, you set your take profit targets. This is so important because it takes your future emotional self out of the driver's seat. And finally, step 3, you review your actions, not your results. The question isn't, did I make money? The only question is, did I follow my plan?
Following this system forces a massive shift in your mindset. You stop playing the get-rich-quick game, which, let's be honest, is usually a get-broke-quick game. Instead, you start playing the get-rich-sure game. Your number one goal is no longer about hitting home runs. Your number one goal is just survival, staying in the game. Because the market always rewards endurance over short-term luck.
And a massive part of survival is learning how to reframe what a loss really is. When you cut a losing trade based on your plan, that's not failure. It's not you admitting you're dumb. Think of it as a tuition fee. It's the price you pay for an education from the market. It's a necessary cost to protect your capital so you can show up and play again tomorrow.
So all of this brings us to our final and maybe most powerful section. When you put all these pieces together, seeing the mirror, building discipline, investing totally transforms. It stops being just a financial chore, and it becomes this incredible journey of self-discovery.
Because once you start seeing the market as that mirror, your perspective on everything changes. Every chart stops being just a bunch of squiggly lines. It's a real-time lesson in math psychology. And your own portfolio, it becomes your greatest teacher. It's constantly showing you where you're weak, where you're strong, what your biases are, and what triggers your emotions.
And that is the ultimate point of this whole explainer. The goal is no longer to beat the market. That's the wrong game entirely. The real goal, the game you can actually win, is to understand yourself. You turn the focus inward, because the greatest victory isn't outperforming some index, it's mastering your own mind. And when you do that, the financial success often just follows.
So, we'll leave you with this one final thought. The market is always on. That mirror is always there, and it's always unflinching. The only question that really matters is the one it asks you every single day. If you're brave enough to look, what will you see in your reflection? Thanks for joining us.